Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Commander Pro here with a video about my mastery setup. We're going to be going over what I use and why I use it, and a description of each one in my own words, and as well as what I'm planning to get in the future and what reasons why I don't have some masteries. This is also going to be a three-part video. I'm going to do one video per each section of masteries. So here we go. First up, the most important mastery I think you can get in this game as a beginner especially is parry. What this does is when you are getting attacked by an enemy, if you block at the right time, you stun the opponent, and then you can go in and get your combo off or shoot your special move off. And then on top of it, it also, even if they don't actually get stunned because of stun immunity or shortened buff duration or something, you still reduce that attack damage by 33% or a percentage depending on what rank you have your mastery at, which is extremely helpful in a ton of ways. So this is our next mastery, dexterity. The reason why you get this one, and this would be like the second mastery that you get in this game as a beginner, is so you can block or evade, I should say, projectile or ranged attacks such as Iron Man level 1 and 2 and King level 1, Winter Soldiers level 1, things like that. There are ones that you can't evade, such as Joe Fixit's level 1, War Machine's level 1, and there's a couple more out there, Agent Venoms. I mean, there's actually a lot of them that you can evade. Anything that rapidly fires shots over too long of a span of time, you can't evade it because it goes too fast. You'll end up getting hit by the second half. And then on top of it, this does give you a 10% increased critical rate for your next attack when you go back in, and that goes up as you rank the dexterity up. I only have 1 point in here. Mainly I just have it just so I can evade those ranged attacks. I don't really think you need 3 points in it because I'm not really too worried about that critical increase compared to other items that you can get, other masteries you can get. Okay, to get to those two, you gotta go through limber. So this has got to be basically your first point, but that's just so you can get to the parry and dexterity. Now, this can be a very good mastery for especially Alliance War defense. It kind of makes most of your champions seem unstunnable, because your stuns are done so fast that you can't. They can't get an attack in before you're done being stunned. But it only seems to really work, or you really notice it when it's maxed out. And so that's why I only have 1 point in it instead of 5, is because I think those points are better used other places. But it's a valid argument to max limber out for sure. Also on offense, if you do happen to get stunned, it normally doesn't matter. Normally they don't even hit you by the time your stun's over if you have this maxed out, which is also helpful. I just don't find that I get stunned that often in really any mode, which would the only places where you really would get parried for the most part is in arena or wars. So those would be the only two places that would really make a difference. Okay, now the next two I don't think are real important that you get them right away. I think they're kind of further down the line in the game, intermediate to better players. You'd wait to get to these masteries here. The first one we have is stupify. This just literally makes it so you stun opponents for a longer duration. At 3 points you get an extra 0.5 seconds. This mainly helps when fighting Groot and people with shortened buff or debuff durations. So when you parry Groot, if you don't have this, you won't be able to hit him very easily. He'll a lot of times get the hit on you because he ain't stunned for long enough. But with this, you definitely do have that chance to run in and hit him. Next up we have petrify. Now this pretty much does exactly what it says. When your champions inflict stun, they also reduce the enemy health and power gains by up to 30%, depending on what rank you have it, for the duration of the stun. I find this most helpful, like when you parry, you can right away, if you right away use your special attacks, they won't jump the opponent up in their power bar quite as quickly, and so that seems to help a lot. And also in just general fights, because you're parrying all the time and they're stunned all the time, I feel like you can get a few more hits, especially on those increased power gain champs, before you have to try and bait their level 1 or whatever you have to bait. Now we only have one more in utility that I have right now, and that is Mystic Dispersion. Now this isn't for everybody by any means. This is more or less for if your top tier champions are Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Magic. I mean, this influences all mystics. I just think it influences those three the most. What this does is it gives you a fight, or we'll look at the ranking here. It's different obviously for each one. You go 2, 3, 5, 8, 12. So it grows exponentially, which is nice compared to most of the other masters, where you get your main boost at the beginning and then it kind of dwindles off the more you go up. This one you actually get like a big increase every time you go up. But what it does is it gives you an increased power gain whenever an enemy beneficial effect expires. So like this helps a lot when you're using magic, or when you're using any of them, like fighting Groot, and he's got all those bonuses, and they go out and you see your bar just jump almost all the way up. Same with fighting people like Old Man Logan when he goes into his rage. Yeah, there's a bunch of other ones. And then when people are fighting you in like Alliance War defense and stuff, when they use dexterity and evade back, every single time that they go in and attack the next time, you'll get, if your Alliance War defender will get a 5% or whatever percentage increase in their power bar there as well. So that's helpful for being, but you gotta have Alliance War defenders that are mystic. But that's greatly helpful for those people for sure. One I don't have that a lot of people do have is pacify. Now the reason why you get this is you reduce the enemy ability triggers by whatever percentage for the duration of stun. So that means that their abilities don't trigger like health regen and fury and armor ups. They'll happen less, and when you start using parry, you're parrying all the time. Probably I'd say 60-70% of the time you're parrying, and so with the 2.5 seconds that you get from those other two masteries maxed out, they're stunned a lot, so this will definitely help with a lot of those type of situations. So for the rest of these masteries, I don't really see much use for them. Some people may use cosmic awareness, but I don't even have Thor, and that would be the main champion that you would want anything that would really affect cosmics for. If you do use cosmic or any of these what do they call them, scout ones over here, let me know down in the comments if you think they're actually worth it or not. These gold ones and XP ones, they just increase the XP and gold you get. I don't even think they're even worth it as a beginner, because I think you should be going for these other masteries way before that, and by the time that you would even get to the point where you could spend some points in random spots, these aren't going to even affect your score enough to even matter. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below with any differences that you have from what I have and why. So the next video will be on the offensive masteries. I'll have that out hopefully tomorrow, if all goes right. Thanks for watching and have a great day.